Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Finally getting round to sending these kikis off. I've forgotten one thing. Doesn't matter how prepared you are, you always forget something. Right, now this box was used by a nursery to send me plants, so it's a suitable box. It's reasonably sturdy and it's almost big enough, not quite, but we can deal with that. So first thing to do is I've separated the kikis, and as a consequence there is a wound where it's been separated from the cane. Now I'm just going to pop a bit of cinnamon on that. Just to seal that. Should be okay. And then this kiki is too big for the box, so something's got to give. Now it's a branching root system, so the logical thing to give is the roots, and if they break, they break. Tough. As opposed to damaging the top pair of leaves, which would completely spoil the look. It wouldn't spoil the effect. Let me go over this. These kikis have finished growing. This is a terminal leaf. So you could actually cut the top of the cane off. It would have no effect on what's going to happen next. What is actually going to happen next is a new growth. Yeah, that will probably be sometime in the spring or early next year. It could come earlier if the conditions are right, but that's the next thing that's going to happen on these kikis. They've finished growing, and the next thing is a new growth will start. And with that new growth on each of those kikis, even more roots will grow. So they should take off okay. That's my theory. Right, let's get stuff I don't need out of the way. We don't need that. Now my idea is to use a bit of this strange kitchen roll that I've got. I say strange because it's sort of like, it's halfway between paper and a cloth. It feels like a cloth, but it is actually paper. So my idea is to squeeze this moss out. You don't want it absolutely soaking wet. Otherwise it will soak through to the outside of the box, which then makes it weak. So we will squeeze all of the water out, and then the idea is we will put the kiki in there like that, and we will fluff some moss around the roots, and that will keep them moist until such time as they come out of the box. And then I'm just going to wrap that round so that the moss stays intact. So that's one. As I said, the next one isn't actually going to fit in the box, but we'll do what we can. Now let's see, have a look how bad this is. The two top leaves can bend. They will bend downwards. As I said, if they kink, it's not the end of the world. They're not going to grow anymore. And that, quite honestly, gets virtually all the roots in except for that one. Well, let's trim that one. Rather than break it, let's trim it. All of these roots should now fit. So, yeah, I think this is going to work. This is my theory, what I have. Again, squeeze as much water out of that as I can, fluff it up round the roots, and just will use it all actually. I'm not going to have a use for it otherwise, and if I don't use it all, I've got damp moss hanging around without a use. Right, so fluffed around the roots, enough to just, you know, once the box is closed up, it will hold some moisture around the roots. that one done. Right, so that's the idea. Now we need padding. Now all this came in the box basically, so I'm just reusing what I was already given. So the idea is to have a layer of bubble wrap on the bottom, and then we will put the short kiki in. Shall I put them diagonally? No, I'll just put them on top of each other, they'll be fine. And as I said, these two leaves are going to have to bend back like that against the sides of the box, and hopefully they will survive. And then all these roots just tuck into the corner, just, and only just. Right, now we've got some more bubble wrap, but we haven't got much, but we've got enough to make padding for those plants. So now the bubble wrap below the plants and above the plants will touch the bottom and the top. What it won't do is stop stuff sliding from side to side, so we will use some of this heavy duty paper to stop that movement from side to side by tucking this in next to the plants, and that will just stop everything sliding around. There we go, should be good enough. And everything becomes secure when the lid goes on. It's got nice flaps to tuck in. Those should push down like so. Get everything out of the way. Get some tape on. And then all I've got to do is an address label, which I haven't done yet, but I will do. It's one of those annoying little flies. And I'm sure fun will be had getting all this lot off. This is called getting your own back. Bane of my life is this sort of tape, but it does the job. Now this is a nice box on the grounds that it hasn't got that big crease down. Yeah, it's got a continuous lid, which you know, makes it a much better better box to use, but as I said, I didn't. This came with plants, so it's somebody's chosen this box purposely with plants in mind. Always make sure you tuck the cardboard pieces up against each other before you roll the tape over. Otherwise you end up with a possible gap and it's too late, the tape's already stuck on. So squash the pieces together before you turn the tape. Oops, soggy bit, not square. Right, the last two little pieces, one there. Always run my nail over it. It makes sure it's stuck and gets rid of any air bubbles and things. So last little bit, just on that one end. All previous labels need to come off if you're posting. You don't want to confuse Postman Pat any more than they get confused at the best of times. So the only label on a reused box should be the one where it's going. Nothing should remain of the previous use. Labelling and you know, stuff like, you know, this, that's all fine. Live plants, that's fine, but this is where my details were. That's been taken off. In fact, I will really take it off. But I don't want to take that off because otherwise I will remove the live plants sign, and that's useful. So the stamps and things were there, they've all been taken off. And that weighs nothing, so that's going to go about as cheap as it possibly can. And this is probably going to get posted today. I don't know, I mean, the box will be posted today, so I will be going around the post office this afternoon. They don't collect at my local post office till the end of the day. So there's no point in taking it round there any earlier, trying to catch an earlier run, because you can't. They only collect at my little post office once a day, and it's at the end of the day. So as long as it gets there during the afternoon, it will go tonight, and it will go guaranteed 24, guaranteed in quotes. They do the best they can, 24 hours. So in theory, Carole will get this Tuesday sometime, I think. And if the worst comes to the worst, she'll get it Wednesday. And for those kikis to spend 2 days in a box is not the end of the world. But I will do my best to get it there in 24 hours. So there's no movement, everything's nice and tight. It's a firm box, it's not hopefully going to get crushed or squashed. And they should arrive in good condition. The damp moss will have started to acclimatise them to having moisture around them. Now most kikis, as I water the plant, I pour water over the kikis. I haven't been doing it with these simply because I'd get the whole plant absolutely soaking wet to try and do that. So they haven't really been acclimatised, but they've got growing tips on them. As long as they don't get squashed into any form of media that shuts the air out, they'll be fine. And I've just seen a hole in the garden that Mojo has created. Well, it's better than having to clear it up indoors, isn't it? So anyway, so there we go. That's the 2 kikis done. Something I committed to some time ago and I've only just got round to. So they will wend their way this afternoon into the system and hopefully come out of the system in deepest West Wales sometime tomorrow, if not Wednesday, which will be fine. So See you next time. The box is going to get posted today. The video will get posted tomorrow. Just to make that clear. I'm taking a day off from messing about on YouTube today. So there we go. And see you next time. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, I will say on the end of this, thanks for all the people that have requested certain videos, things they would like to see me do. There's a good number. So what I've actually, well, I haven't done it yet, I will do it later today, is I will write them down in my notebook, yeah? And they will get ticked off as we go along. So my idea was to do a viewer's requested video once a week. It'll probably be Wednesday, as a matter of course. So you can still keep your ideas coming in. I will just add them to the list, and then we will gradually go through the list until I run out. I will only run out if you stop making suggestions. And then we'll go back to as we were before. Right, see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.